Hi, Jonathan Trager here, Seconds Out. I'm joined today by Ian Bird of Evolution Sport UK, who represents both Nathan Cleverly and Joe Calzaghe. First of all, Ian, how are we doing?
Doing very well, thank you. Yeah, excited and looking forward to Saturday night now.
Good stuff. I mean, how have you, we've just been chatting in the hotel, obviously, off camera. I mean, how are you assessing fight week so far and Nathan and how he's retaining his composure?
Yeah, I mean, look, Nathan's the camp has been running now for about 16 weeks, so the preparation's been intense right up until this point. He's trained as hard as he ever has, and he's probably told you that himself. But mentally, he's in a really good place. He's got a second chance at another world title. He's got the opportunity to become a two-world world champion, and he's not about to let the opportunity slip. So the camp's gone great. Wales is a really patriotic place. Everyone's behind him, even though we're up in Liverpool again. He's a clever lad, Nathan, no pun intended, but he knows exactly what he's doing. He's very calculated, and there's almost another pun in there with a maths degree, isn't there? But yeah, no, listen, he knows exactly what he's doing, and I'm expecting him to do the business on the weekend. And
I mean, we're talking today, it's Thursday night, we've obviously had the main event press conference earlier today.
Yeah.
Tony, today at the press conference, a couple of personal jibes were directed towards Nathan, and I think, having interviewed Tony, he believes that he might have started to rile Nathan. Obviously, you're very close to Nathan and his camp. Would you say this is true, or do you think, in fact, he's not been affected at all by comments made?
No, he hasn't at all. I was pretty disappointed with Bellew's attitude today. I thought he showed a degree of ignorance, sat at the table with his headphones on. And I think the fact that he got a little bit personal with Nathan today is a sign that he's actually not winning the verbal battle. He's coming up way off the mark, and all the intimidation and the spiteful chat, and people can tell me until they're blue in the face that he's a nice guy out of the ring. You don't behave like he does if you're a nice guy, and deep down I think he's obviously got some anger issues there, and it's like Nathan says, he's been a world champion, Tony hasn't. You swear he was this messiah of boxing, the way he carries himself around the place, and at the end of the game, at the end of the day, the guy's done nothing. He went over to Canada, the ropes held him up, he'd have been on the floor face down dribbling if it wasn't for the rope. So people are focusing on Nathan's devastating loss to Kovalev, which we're all aware of, but let's not forget, this guy's had he's coming off a bad defeat at the actual elite level. So he's shown today was another sign of what I believe Tony's shown his true colours, and bringing the sport down to a level it doesn't need to be.
And obviously, as alluded to at the start, you also represent Joe Calzaghe. I mean, doesn't needs no introduction. I don't need to rattle off his list of achievements, but obviously he's flying in on Saturday. He'll be here watching the fight. Obviously, very close friend of Nathan's.
Yeah.
We've seen on ringside little snippets of Joe being in and around the camp.
Yeah.
Has he had an integral role in the build-up to this fight?
Yeah, I mean, look, they live around the corner from one another. They're very close friends. Joe's, amongst his other commitments, been in and out of the gym, and just offering Nathan some advice, as a friend, as someone who he cares about Nathan. He's as a young lad in the gym, Nathan's always been around Joe, from the start, and Joe cares about him. He feels as though if he can help him, he will do, and Nathan's again is very receptive, and he's taken on board a few little things, and they've spoken, and it's by no way anything other than just a little bit of friendly advice, but someone like Joe Calzaghe offers you advice, you tend to take it. So, as I say, he'd be in on Saturday. You know, he's very much looking forward to coming. He'd like to be up a little bit earlier, but can't quite get up until Saturday. But he'd be in Saturday, and he's absolutely buzzing for the fight. Yeah, he's really looking forward to it, as we all are.
Yeah, and I mean, just representing someone like Joe Calzaghe on a daily basis, some of the opportunities that come his way, and obviously via yourself, must be very exciting. I mean, is it an exciting job to have, being the manager of a legend, Welsh legend for yourself?
Listen, I was a young lad in Wales growing up. Joe was a big hero of mine. I can remember getting up in the early hours in the morning watching him fight. I was in Manchester as a fan when he beat Lacey. And I was very lucky to be able to have the opportunity to work with him, and I mean, look, it's great, and Joe's at that point now where he's been away from the sport for a little while, we'll watch this space. He's certainly never ever going to fight again. That's certainly not going to happen, but Joe's got some bits and pieces to do in boxing, and watch this space.
Okay, and you alluded to it there. I mean, everyone asks Joe when every time he's on ringside, I think he gets asked if he's tempted to come out of retirement. You can categorically say that this will never, irrespective of the dollar signs, it'll never happen.
Absolutely, categorically never coming out of retirement. He doesn't need to, as I mentioned to you off camera, we were out in Canastota for the Hall of Fame in June. The guy's achieved everything he could have ever wanted to, and personally, I believe that if he was around today, he would absolutely sew the super middleweight division up in the United Kingdom and the world. I think him and Andre Ward would have been a great fight. I think Joe would have come out on top, because he just had that ability to be able to adapt and beat anybody put in front of him, and I think that he would have done the same. But I can categorically say Joe's never coming out of retirement. That little O on the end of his record's worth more than any paycheck.
Absolutely. Well, thanks a lot for your time today, and really appreciate it. And obviously, best of luck for Nathan on Saturday. Enjoy the show.
Cheers. Thank you.